So, welcome back, guys, to the Way podcast. On this week, we have a another more business-minded episode. I'm joined with a friend of mine from high school again. Uh, he is, I guess, an entrepreneur, um, all-around fun guy to talk to, um, and his name is Ethan Sanchez. So, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ethan Jalisca Sanchez. I'm a good surgeon from school, and thank you so much for having me on your
No
podcast.
problem, man. Always good to talk.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. So on this episode, we're going to be talking, I guess, about entrepreneurship. Um, as we're both we have both of like I guess dipped our toe in that realm. And I'm studying
Mm-hmm.
business currently, so we're both
Mm-hmm.
I guess interested in it. So I guess we could start off with what I guess what got us into or what interests us about entrepreneurship.
Would you like to go first, or do I go
You can
first?
go ahead.
All right. Well, I chose entrepreneurship solely because one day I was in math class and my math teacher was talking about stocks, and I was just honestly fascinated on how like this is some ideal information that a lot of people probably don't know
Hmm.
about. And I decided that I was gonna buy a book about it, and I read a book called The Millionaire Teacher, and it talked about how to start investing, and it's kind of started from there. And I just kind of realized like my value of my time and how I want to spend it more effectively and just be able to not worry about money. So being an entrepreneur for me kind of just gives me inspiration that one day that I'll be able to like do whatever I want whenever I want, the typical entrepreneur
Hmm.
style, but also to like have put some effort or make have a meaning towards helping you know humanity in the future as well. Like I don't know whether I'm gonna make charity or make some awesome the product that will help billions of people, but I'm hoping that eventually that I'll get to help a lot of people, which is what I want to do.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I would say it's kind of similar. I guess my experience with entrepreneurship and how I got into it is very similar. Um, my family has always been in business. When my grandfather came to the country, he started a business as soon as possible. Um, I remember I always heard stories of the very first business he started. It was called the Peacock Brothers, and it was a cleaning cleaning company with just all the brothers.
Oh wow.
Because our last name when we were in India was Moore, and Moore means peacock in Punjabi. So he just named it
Wow.
Peacock Brothers. It was the first business that he opened, and he was here back in the
Wow.
'70s. Um, and that was after like I can't remember if he started driving taxi before that or after that, but he had already been working in factories, and it was just hard to find jobs back then. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously there was tons of racism back then, especially if you wore a turban. And
Mm-hmm.
and he basically he's like, screw it, start my own business, right? And then it was just him,
Mm-hmm.
really, him and a few of his younger brothers. So like my great
Wow.
uncles, and they literally were like 21, 17, like super young. And my dad,
Wow.
my my aunt, and my uncle were all here at that time, and they like were really young. And then my grandma was working in the factory as well. She actually made Hasbro games, like the board games. Yeah,
What? That is
yeah.
no
She,
way.
she was in the
No way,
factory making
bro.
like the Trivial Pursuit. She made that. That was the line she was on, back in the '70s.
Wow.
And,
That's crazy.
and I so he started that business, and it wasn't very successful because, I mean, like my great uncles, like my dad's uncles, they hadn't cleaned anything in their life. Like think about us, like we're relatively young, right? We're in like 19,
Mhm.
maybe. I don't know if you're 20 yet, but like
No, I'm
yeah,
18.
yeah, like
Continue.
we imagine us like starting a cleaning business. You just come to this country, you don't speak English or anything. Everyone's got like we're farmers, right? So we're like
Yeah, yeah,
eight. There's like the highest level of education was like my grandfather's like grade 12, right? And then the youngest,
yeah,
the lowest level was like grade 8, grade 6 or grade 7 because just working the farm.
yeah.
And I remember the story is iconic on the reason why they closed business. So one day they're cleaning this guy's house, and
Mm-hmm.
my grandfather leaves, right? And all of his
Mm-hmm.
brothers are there, and he goes out, and then he gets a call from the guy the next day, and he's
Yeah.
like, they didn't clean anything, like nothing was clean, everything's still dirty, and he's like, and they drank all my whiskey.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? Wow, that's what that sort of payment is, just
Oh
give
my
me
god! And
whiskey.
then that was my grandfather. Like, man, that's when I had to shut it down. That was just the end of it.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, I mean, it's a good start, like it's pretty incredible from where they came from, and well, I mean, in general, like I don't think a lot of people who immigrated to Canada would ever think of having or building their own business as like a first, you
Hmm.
know, I guess a career path, right? It's just trying to find a job and then just stick for the job for like 40 years or 50 years. But they went for it, they took their chances and, it didn't go as good as they planned, but, that's a life lesson. And I think those are more valuable than, you know, failures, obviously.
Yeah, and after that, he opened up a gas station, and that's when it that was the I guess his thing basically. He would
His
Yeah, he
turning
would.
point.
I mean,
Yeah.
it took a while for him to start making some money because everyone else, after they stopped the Peacock brothers, they all started driving, like doing their own stuff, right? Like driving taxi. Everyone was living in like a 1,200 square foot house, like 8 people, 9 people. And basically, they had, but everyone else was like driving taxi or working somewhere else, and like they'd be going quick because they're kids, right? And they're just going crazy like on the weekends, and like they have their friends coming over and getting drunk and all that. And then he would be my grandfather. He started a gas station business in 81. Oh, I think 81, maybe no 83.
Did,
He opened up a
did,
Shell. On the QEW, like by like Sherway Gardens. There's a Tim Hortons like up on the hill. It might be hard. Like it's like over the bridge.
I don't recall, but like
Yeah.
continue, like,
So that actually used to be our gas station up there. And that was the Sherway location that we had, and that was the first station. It was just one pump back then. One pump, like a tiny little store with just like a seat and a cash register, and he would run it from
wow,
7 a.m. to 7 a.m. Or no, not 7 a.m. to 10 by himself, the entire gas station.
that's incredible. And I don't Sherry even existed back then, or did
Sorry,
it?
I think you cut out for a little bit.
Oh, did Sherway exist back then when that
I
gas
don't
pump
even
was up?
know. Sure, the mall probably didn't exist back then, and if it did, it was probably small. It was tiny. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, if he had that thing there, I'm sure he'd be making a
yeah.
ton of money.
And then
It's,
eventually, they got more pumps, and then people started to work there, and they also had the gas station also had a car wash, right? And
wow.
eventually it started picking up, and then one day some guy came up to my grandfather and gave him an opportunity to have propane at his gas station, and he's like, you know what, we'll pay for the pump, you just pay for the gas, like the propane itself. We'll
Mm.
install the pump, right? And then from there, that's when they really started making some money. Like, I mean, before it was just like scrounging just to make enough to survive, and then they started really making money, because all the taxi drivers back in the day, all the taxis, they ran on propane, so they would get, and they'd always get a car wash, right? Because you always got a nice looking car, and if you have a limo or a taxi, so they all come there, get their car wash, fill up their propane, and that's when it really started going. Like my dad would work there all the time in the summertime, And
Mm-hmm.
he'd work the gas station or work the car wash, and then from there it just like
Oh,
ups and downs. Market went up, market went down. Bought houses here, real estate here, and then market went bad. Like it's just all over the place. And now he sold that gas station in I think the 90s, 94 or something, and he bought one on Airport Road, which just closed actually this year. We just closed it. We
why?
sold the airport bought it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know it, but it's on Airport Road, literally right in front of the runway. Like the plane is like 10 meters, not even above the gas station.
I'm sure. I'm sure
It's a
I probably
Petro-Canada.
like passed
Yeah.
by. That's actually incredible. Like how many probably have been to, you know, I most likely went to almost all the gas pumps that your grandfathers have owned or your
Yeah.
dad has. That's kind of
And
crazy.
he's still in love with the
You know?
business, man. He loves the gas station business so much. He just bought another gas station 5 years ago. Like I've worked at the gas station for, a few summers. Like I worked at the one at airport for a summer, and then the one like I worked at my dad's firm for a little bit, but then the one he bought one out in London, Ontario, like out of
Mm.
nowhere, and he's
Yeah, well now look how big that the whole place is. It's like it's growing
yeah,
rapidly.
he's just outside of London. He's in this area called Grant. It's like a little farming area, and
Oh
it's like
yeah?
right on the on Highbury, just that goes right into London, and it's
Wow.
like a big store. It's got a house attached with it, like on the land, and I feel like he just stays there now. Like he's there 6 days a week, he,
He
and
just
he's
loves
like
it
in
so
his
much.
70s. Like he hasn't he's never like he's always been working, and he just loves
Wow.
that business, But it takes a toll. But that's another like yeah,
Another
like a
story.
super. He's a super hustler, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Always
well,
worked
I
hard.
mean they get rewarded.
Yeah.
This is the thing, how many gas stations do you know that exist that you guys own?
So at one point we owned a good amount. Like back in the day, we sold them. Like there's one right in the heart of downtown that we used to own. A Shell, like literally
Mm-hmm.
on Queen, I think, on Queen Street. I can't remember which one. Used to own
Okay.
it, and then that property is crazy. They sold it like a long time ago, and now it's worth like 30 million, $40 million, which is crazy.
Oh my
I mean, nobody knew
goodness.
that
I should
down.
have
Like
kept it.
Toronto was like garbage back then. Like yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
there's just the core, like downtown core, and that's it. There was nothing else, really. Just a few
Oh.
buildings, and it wasn't as built up as it is now. Um, but yeah, like they owned a few gas stations, but eventually they sold them, and like they split them amongst the brothers. Like the brothers pitched in, and they would get like one station for themselves, and they would run it, and eventually like they would all sell them, and they wouldn't run the like. Eventually, we ended up with just like we have our station.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's just
Wow.
yeah, that's
That's
where I
actually
really got like. I've always loved business, even in high school, and well, even before that. But
yeah, I know you were just like you just had the business like, you just look like you're the businessman. The way you dressed in high school, you're just like this man's going to a
yeah,
meeting. I don't think it was one you weren't costume,
yeah.
just coming in with these well dressed as like surgeons. He's got another conference call,
Hey man, you gotta sell those
you
stickers, man.
know. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how
Yeah,
I guess got interested in business. It's always been in my family. Like my dad, he's not just a lawyer. He's a lawyer, but he also like he owns his own firm. So like he's always in
mhm.
business, and he's in other aspects like other fields as well. Like it's just in our. I mean, I feel like every immigrant family at some point has started a business. Like even my mom's side, my my grandfather has driven a limousine for 50 years, but they always had a convenience store out in Burlington,
Oh,
and it was always in the family. Like every immigrant family eventually at some point has started a business to try and make money, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what else can you do if you can't get a job?
Yeah,
You don't really have a
People,
good education. You really don't have a
yeah, people
choice.
don't treat you right.
Yeah. I mean, all the papers are like against them, but they made it succeed. That kind of just
Yeah.
shows like what kind of willpower you
Gotta be
have,
grateful, man, for what we
you know?
have now. Like I live a good life.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to worry about money.
I,
I
oh
get to go to a
yeah.
good
I mean,
school. Like
it's even better because like you not only have like the resources, but you have like experience. So your
yeah, in my
parents and your
family.
grandparents got all the experience. Kind of just like honestly just shortens. Well, it really just helps you and your the future
Hmm.
generations. Just quicker learning learning things much
Yeah, don't have to
quicker.
make the same mistakes.
Exactly. You know, for me, like I don't. The only person who's really done business is my
Hmm.
mom. She's owned a playground. I think we own like three stores. We didn't own three stores like the same time, but we just moved to like two
Yeah.
places, right? And yeah, there was like one time like my mom she bought she called it the Busy Genie,
Hmm.
and a bunch of kids came in and we bought a property. Uh, I forgot where, but it was probably close to like Etobicoke. And what happened was like she had it was like the biggest. It was like the I think it was her biggest investment because it was the biggest. Because before it was literally like a small hallway and she could like able to fit small houses, right? It's like it's not a lot of
Hmm.
kids, so and they don't take a lot of space either, so it's not even that big of a problem. But she bought like a really big one, like huge slides, all this crazy stuff, right? But then the landlord didn't tell her about some there were some like hazards for the children because that's a few doors down there was an auto shop or something that had to do with like toxic air. So occasionally like inside the playground they like toxic air in
Oh
there.
man.
And she was all upset because she had to close down everything, like her whole business closed down because of that. Because the landlord didn't tell her about it, right? And she had invested so much. She was even going to invest in a playground outside in the parking lot. So usually where the customers could park, she was gonna like get rid of that and just put a fence around it and have like an outside playground for the kids to play
Yeah.
outside. But that never got to happen. So it's a shame.
Sucks.
But it does suck. But now she does marketing. She's also a real estate agent, so she's got a bunch of clients, and right now I think she's got her own little group who from around the world actually, like Costa Rica, that kind of thing, and she just helps businesses market their products.
That's sick.
It's pretty interesting, which is really good. You know, what I'm going to be doing or what I'm doing right now is publishing on Amazon. Before I did Amazon FBA,
Hmm.
but then I kind of found after like I don't really feel like I can do a long term, career path because there's just too much competition, too many products. It's just
Yeah.
not a lot. It's just I don't think it's worth it. I tried it and it was good, and I learned a lot from it, which I can use now for my publishing business. But that's what I'm going to be trying to be doing, and hopefully it does well. Right now, I'm getting my book written.
Cool.
Um, it's with shipping containers. And yeah, it's just talking about advantages of shipping containers, like how you can change them into like homes, pools, gardens, pop-up stores.
Cool.
And I saw on Amazon that well, Amazon's actually pushing Audible really hard because they even changed their new slogan into reading is the new listening. It's very
Yeah.
true. As you see a bunch of people listening to podcasts just
Hmm.
like this, right? Instead of reading because it's just more convenient and they're going to work, this kind of thing. So, Audible and not only is Amazon like that's how they first started out is selling
Yeah.
books online, so they know the customers really well, right? And there's not a lot of competition, there's not a lot of products. It's just taking the time to make a decent book about a topic that people need to get their problems fixed, which surprisingly, and you'd think there'd be, I don't know, there's like a weird topic about freaking, I don't know, there's always weird
Yeah. You
topics,
can
but
write
people will pay for
anything,
those
man.
books. Anything, man, anything that has demand, people will write about it and it'll make money. I mean, I saw a book online that was making like close to like $5,000 in revenue, and it
Oh.
just came out a couple of months ago, and it's got barely any reviews, and that kind of shows how much demand there is. And in fact, there's less competition. There's no one even writing books. It's like it's a good opportunity
Yeah,
to get
and
in.
it's
So that's
yeah,
what I'm
and
gonna
it
be
makes
doing.
sense because it's not really active. Once you write the book, it's out, right?
And yeah, and it's actually kind of more like it's I think it's a passive income
Hmm.
because unlike inventory, you have to restock all this kind of stuff. The book's always there. It's
Yeah,
always going to
ebook.
be there, and as long as it's up there, it's always going to make money, unless the topic's even relevant in the future. You know,
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
so
Um,
yeah.
so what is it called again? We can plug it again at the end of the episode, but
Like right now, like I haven't really decided the name, but like because I have to do some things about keywords, make sure that when people search
oh
up my
yeah,
book,
SEO
they'll
baby.
see it, right? Yeah, and also like since I got a ghostwriter writing my
Hmm.
book, he might change some of the content in there. So I gotta make sure the title I fit the content in the book. It's not changed drastically, but the book's called Five Secret Advantages of Shipping Containers You Didn't Know. It's kind of cheesy, kind of
Hey man,
simple, but I
it's
mean like
direct.
it correct, yeah. It tells you if when you read the title, you kind of understand what the title's about, and that's what people care about, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, so hopefully next time we talk, I'll be able to talk about it a little bit more. But for now it's just it's in progress.
that's good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was gonna ask question. So um what are you studying in business for?
So right now, I chose to specialize in the management, and
Mhm.
then basically of all the we can choose three at the school I'm at, and management versus the other ones. There's accounting and finance. Finance and accounting have like there's no variation. Like there's just finance, accounting, and then finance, and management allows you opportunity to choose a focus, right? Because management is such a broad category. You have management with a marketing focus and all these sorts of things, like international business and so many different things. But I'm gonna choose marketing, um, because that's one thing I've always loved. Always loved marketing. Just like I find to be, it feels like the most creative. I mean, at least to me, the most I guess artistic and creative aspect of a business. You know.
Yeah, well I kind of just like if there's not a visual like representation of what you're selling, you gotta use words,
Hmm.
right? You gotta use like copyright takes skill,
Oh,
right? It takes
definitely. Ask my dad.
skill. Yeah, I mean, finding the right words, finding how it fits with the brand, like how to persuade someone, takes time and effort and definitely takes creativity. Um, you know, I actually like right now I'm watching a course by Ty Lopez and I'm learning some about marketing,
The
which
OG.
hopefully I'll get the OG
Nah,
knowledge
I'm in my
with all
garage. Do you
with
want to
all
be like him? You got
the yeah, with books with all the
the. I
knowledge,
read 1,000 books a day. I read 3 books a
yeah.
day. But he, of all the memes, I mean, he's successful for a reason, right? So
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously got things to teach, definitely valuable stuff, and I'm hoping that by the end of the course, like I'm obviously gonna implement what he taught me, and let's see how much of a boost it can help me, especially when my book will come out. I'm gonna have to be able to push that out and see how many people will
yeah,
purchase it. You know?
yeah. I'm actually in the right now. I'm in the process of like I started running ads for my dad's firm. Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I've
really?
been working on their website for a long time, but it's kind of stagnated at this point. We're kind of in like a intermediary stage, but um, basically, like I've started running ads for the immigration part. We have a few. I just get advertise my dad's business. We have a few different
Yeah.
services, right? We have commercial,
Mhm.
personal injury, and immigration law related services. So right now we're pushing the immigration because it's harder to reach people, right? Obviously they're not in Canada or they're not directly
Mhm.
like it's like the newest service we offer. So I learned a lot about. I mean, I've always known about the ads, like the Facebook ads, and I've had a good knowledge about it. But this is the first time I've really implemented it for someone else's thing because I've always done it for my own page, like to promote stuff.
Mhm.
But Um, yeah, and it's an interesting process. It's very like it's a lot of give and take. You know, like you got to test. Like right now, we're testing it out, and we're seeing the cost per click means like it's if it's under a certain amount, it's like we have a threshold where it seems worth it. Like we're getting enough clicks for the amount of money we're spending on it, and it's just about specifying like which area. And one thing I love about there's kind of like an analytical data side to it. I'm not like a
Mm-hmm.
data scientist or anything like that, or studying anything related to that, but I kind of like that using very logical, like, okay, this is the data, and if we follow this, it'll make sense, and it's get a percentage to work, right? Because you have to do a marketing is all about first step of marketing is market research, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like I'll never forget, dude, from high school, the two C's and the four P's, dude. I'll never forget. I got tattooed that on my arm, dude. Like it's it's like it's a bible of marketing, and it's so important. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah,
You're still gonna get it out? You're gonna put on your
yeah,
get
dude.
your
I get a
tattoo
tattoo
again?
on my face, dude. It's the full. Yeah, just like I'm a marketing guy. Look at me. Customer
Oh
competition,
my
product
god.
place, promotion price.
You're gonna be your own like billboard, you
So
know,
it's like those guys that put their stuff on
nonstop.
their car.
Yeah, yeah, you know. But you know what I always don't understand though, when I see people advertising on their cars, they always have it so small. It's like on the side of the door. It's like a small
Yeah,
like angular like thing. It's like if you're gonna advertise, I mean, I can't read that from like
yeah,
10 feet away. You might as well just make it big.
yeah, and have
Obvious if
less
you're gonna advertise
words.
it.
It's always like so many words on there,
Yeah,
and
too many
it's so
words. No
it's
one's
so
gonna read
distracting when you're
that. No.
driving. It's like it's like you're looking at this
Yeah,
thing. It's like,
well,
okay, let me write the phone number down while I'm on the highway. Like
yeah, exactly. It's kind of useless. I mean, the only time you really get the chance is to, when you're at a stoplight, right?
yeah,
But even so, you're not even going to pull out your phone to take a picture,
yeah.
you know. But I was gonna say there's something about what you were talking about. What were you saying about?
Bible of marketing or market research.
Oh yeah, the market. Yeah, market research. Oh yeah. So for Amazon, we have a PPC as
Mm-hmm.
well, right? And one of the things that I kind of find is so frustrating is that do we have like I don't know exactly how your advertising works, but for me it's pretty simple, right? We got automatic campaigns, so pretty much like Amazon will figure out try to find the customers for you, right? But obviously Amazon is Amazon; they'll take all your
Yeah.
money if they can, you know. So if they'll just have people they think they're gonna purchase it, but now they're not. So a cost is like super. I forgot if it's high or low. It's bad if it's high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like like A cost is like freaking like 30%,
Yes.
40%.
Yeah.
Really bad, you know? And then we also have other sorts of campaigns. Like we have it's called you got broad, you got phrase, and you got exact, and it depends on like those words. So you have like broad could be like dog,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you got phrase like dog walks, and you got exact like dog walks. So anyone who types in dog walks will only find something that's just up dog walks. Someone who searches up dog like a
Yeah.
phrase like dog walks and the walk, it could be walk dog, it could be dog
Yeah.
walk, and if it's broad, it can be anywhere in that whole sentence. It's just as long as those two words are in there, right? It's just interesting because I never really understood like, or at least I didn't have a concept of advertising, and I know it's not too like complicated or anything like that, but it was just a good idea of what advertising kind of looks like. Right? And I didn't know what a cost was at the time. I didn't know what other terms marketing was until I actually did marketing myself, which was pretty interesting. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie.
Yeah. I mean, doing Facebook is basically it's a similar thing, but think with Facebook they take way more data from their users, so you have a lot to work
Oh
with.
yeah.
Like you can specify like relationship status, um, like immigration status, looking for a job, like somehow they find this out. It's not listed in their profile like I'm looking for a job, like they have everything like interested in for example, let's just say trucking, right? They want to become a truck driver, looking for immigration in Canada. I can target a specific street. I can go all the way down to a street in Canada. I could.
That's honestly kind of
It's crazy.
crazy.
Like I could, like right now I'm targeting four separate areas, and like you can go so specific. I've done every single thing related, and the ad I use like directly to the consumer we're looking for. I put a picture of like, for example, we're trying to advertise to truck drivers, and I have a picture of a truck, right? And it says,
Mhm.
"Are you a truck driver?" And then I ask the question, but I know that they're already a truck driver because if they're seeing the ad, they're interested in truck driving, freight forwarding, transportation, logistics, and they're in these areas. They're this age. They're most likely this ethnicity. Like you can go so specific.
I mean, isn't that why they got in trouble in the first place? They had a whole court
I
system.
know.
Like it's crazy. Like they have so much power. In fact, um, Mark,
Yeah.
a friend of mine, uh, you obviously know Mark. He was talking about how like he read about back in a forget what time, but like long ago when our parents were like children, for grocery stores, how they would figure out like the buying habits of people, and they were specifically targeting women who are pregnant because they're the ones that spend the most money, obviously with the baby and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And they would like study what they usually buy and whatever. And you know how you get the flyers house to see what's on for
Yeah.
sale. Well, majority of people think that that's like random, right? It's just like, oh, that's like whatever you're looking for happens to be right in that newspaper, right? But what they didn't know is that they actually figured out what they want and they kind of just hid it in there, saying like, oh, like this is kind of just, oh, what a coincidence. I need to buy diapers,
Exactly.
but really, in reality, they actually specifically chose them, right? And there was one time that I forgot specifically what happened, but like they they some someone's dad got these papers that were like saying like just a bunch of like promotion advertising for like kid
Hmm.
stuff, right? And this dad had a daughter,
Yeah.
and kind of was kind of like, hey, wait a second here, like why am I getting so many promotion for babies, right? And he went to the store and he says like, hey, why are you sending this kind of stuff? They were like, oh, it's like we promote to this too, like obviously pregnant women. And then think a few weeks later, something like that, he comes back and apologizes to the store because he finds out that his daughter was pregnant, and it was bizarre.
Yeah.
It's honestly
It's actually
bizarre.
insane.
Like that's kind of
That's a
creepy.
difference between like generations, man. Like,
Yeah, and not only that was back then. Now they knew
yeah,
everything, everything.
it's like
You
you
know,
say something and then you
would
see an ad for it, like on Instagram.
yeah, just
Instagram is
oh
specifically,
yeah,
which is nuts.
oh yeah, especially Instagram. Like there was one time, me and Mark, I was checking his car and I saw his oil, and we've never talked about
Oh my
oil.
god, you got
Never,
ad for
never,
oil change?
never, bro. Every day, yeah. Mark sent me a screenshot and he was like, "Bro, why is there oil on my
Oh my
Instagram?" And
god.
I'm like, listening 24/7, bro. I asked Google, was like, "Where's my girlfriend? Where can I buy one?" How come they haven't done that yet? But
Advertise.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty bizarre. So, so what else would you want to talk about?
I mean, we could just continue. Like, one thing, I guess. What would you say? I guess you're saying your goal as like I guess for going into entrepreneurship or becoming an entrepreneur was to have one day have like financial freedom. I guess like that's a golden thing.
Yeah, I mean that's my great main goal, right? Like I really right now I work at a powder coating company and I'm making pretty decent money, but I mean I kind of want to wake up one day and just realize I don't need to go to
Yeah.
work, right? Um, I mean like I know eventually I will achieve it. It's just a matter of time, to be honest. Like I already have a lot of things in place. Like I invest in, so I'm already like kind of investing in real
Mm-hmm.
estate. Um, And now I got these books, which is gonna be also another passive income. Eventually, right? Just persistence and just keep on going at it, right? Actually, I was looking over my expenses, and to give me more boost of confidence, what I decided to do was see overall how much I'm spending, and then I kind of divided by how many days. So I wanted to see how much per month or at least per day I'm spending, right? And I calculated, and I spend around $35 per day with like all the expenses like
Yeah.
Spotify, all this other stuff. I was recently I was driving, so um, I was paying insurance like $300. It's
I know it's
crazy. And I don't even live that far from here. Before I used to drive all the way to Mississauga for my other job, but then I quit that, so I work here now. So everything's close, and right now I'm trying to money, and since I spend around $35, I make 18.50. I only have like
nice.
a $17 difference pretty much. And if my books make around $500 a month, then I pretty much only have to work 1 hour each day for me to even just to live, with the expenses. Uh, just $500 a month that my book produces is enough for me to
Yeah.
like pretty much not worry about any expenses, which is really kind of motivates me because I'm not that far. It's just $17. I just need
Mm-hmm.
$17. $17 more, and I'm set really. And it kind of just goes from there. And yeah, I guess that's a useful tip that anyone would like to do. Is just figure out your expenses, divide them by 31 days, and see how much um, each costs each day, and add them all up, and you can see how much you spend each day, and then you can use that to motivate you to make more money. And every little cent counts.
Oh yeah.
You know, for sure, definitely. But that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Like I think the thing with the thing for me, I guess, um, I'm trying to think because a lot of businesses I haven't gone in for money, which is weird, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the point of commerce is to make money. But like I just
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually glad that I did that because is that like I was in high school and like recently or now like I don't have to worry about money, right? Because I'm supported by my
Mm-hmm.
parents, thankfully, and like it's so good to like I remember in at the end of high school I started a small with a few students like a small drama association, and like I was
Mm-hmm.
selling stickers around school to basically help raise money for a student produced written and acted play. And we had it already. I mean, COVID kind of screwed that up. We literally we were rehearsing every like what 2 days, and we made like
Wow.
we raised $500. Like we raised good money.
Wait, how what was the time period like?
6 months,
1 day?
6 months
Oh
of just
wow.
yeah. We just not even 6 months, maybe 3 months. We started in November, October, November. I can't remember because we found out there that year the teachers were going on strike and there weren't going to be any extracurriculars, and we didn't foresee obviously COVID happening, but
Uh,
we're like, you know what? Why don't we just do something ourselves? So we started I made a website, made an Instagram. We had about 10 members, and yeah, it was really fun. Like just because I'm a drama guy, and like it was just fun to put something you have passion for, right, and then turn some aspect of it into a business. And I feel like that really helped because I've always one thing I've loved about I guess marketing is the way you can use it to connect to your customer and really have it on a personal level, right? Because a lot of times you're more likely to buy something from someone who you're like when you know their character, especially when you're providing a service. Like if it's like people really don't give a crap what Amazon how Jeff Bezos is in his free time, right? Like really they don't really care if they know
yeah.
Jeff Bezos. They're still gonna order the thing that comes in 12 hours on Amazon, right? Like they don't really care. But when it comes to a
Yeah.
smaller, like I'm not aiming right now to be at the level of Jeff Bezos, right? He's like an extreme case, of
Mhm.
course, but like just something where I can sustain myself, right? Live happily, um, but also fulfill myself by helping people. Like for me, that's why I want to start a firm, a marketing firm. I've
Yeah.
basically got like a base level right now. Like I've got this outline, and I'm trying to build the skills to offer. Like I know I can create Instagram, run Instagram ad, create content. Like I can do all that kind of stuff, like basic stuff for businesses. And it's good
Mm-hmm.
practice for me, like my dad's firm, creating a website. Like I've created a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of websites. Even the website for this, I use Wix. Like the website for this podcast. Um, and like I don't have any coding experience, but I just have experience using these website builders, and you can get by. Like you can make a nice looking website, and people are charging thousands of dollars for websites made on WordPress.
Honestly, it's yeah, like nowadays it's so much easier. Like I think there I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone talk about how like, entrepreneurship has like skyrocketed since COVID.
Yeah,
Like I've, I see a bunch of stores now just are hiring all of a sudden. Like everyone seems to be moving towards online to make money, right? Because, why what can you do during COVID? Not really
yeah,
anything. And I think COVID really showed like the power of like just overall the internet,
definitely.
e-commerce, social media. Like it kind of changed how we make money. That's for sure. I mean, it already happened, but there's a big transition, especially with a bunch of businesses that have to go
Yeah,
online, right? Or else they're kind of doomed if something like this happens again. It's
yeah,
essential in order for
yeah.
them to survive,
Inspiration was created by
right?
necessity, essentially.
Yeah, I like that thought.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically what like they had no choice. It honestly went under. I mean, you saw a lot of businesses go under because of it, especially restaurants that couldn't do takeout. Those a lot of those old
Yeah.
restaurants unfortunately went out of business. But well, I think it was good. I kind of forced people to, get online. Like you couldn't
Yeah.
afford because you had to offer some sort of thing online, otherwise you wouldn't survive, right? You had to,
Yeah. And not only that, like businesses that, well, it just you know, since there's demand, there's always going to be someone going to create something like that. So if it wasn't really for, something like a big event like this, then it wouldn't make our lives easier. Like I'm sure if something like COVID didn't happen, it would take maybe a little bit longer process for like, a Wix or something like that to come along
hmm
and make things easier for businesses and websites like that,
yeah,
you know?
it's crazy, man.
But
Um,
I want to see it. See it. You can't even wrap our heads around it. Just too much to comprehend.
I know COVID is just yeah.
you know?
I'm kind of sick of talking about COVID, but honestly, like yeah, I mean, we just had to deal with it, right? We're at least we're lucky we're not. I don't have to worry about food being not being on the table because my parents can't work, right? I was lucky. Yeah, we're not in
Yeah,
countries where it's yeah
it's
like
really
anywhere
bad.
out like outside of a first world country. Like imagine being in a country where people are living on top of each other and there's 12 there's like 12
Oh,
people in like a small house, and then there's poor circulation, it's hot, and it that's where it grows, right? That's where disease is rampant,
oh
and there's poor
yeah.
health care, and then it's just a we're just lucky, like we're lucky here. I mean, look at the situation in India and like other places where the healthcare system cannot provide for the public. And
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes whenever I just go for a walk or something, when I'm just thinking about stuff, because usually what happens is like I work for a bit and then I like kind of get tired of
yeah,
sitting, and I don't like being in my room for so long, so I go for a walk and I think about like me walking on the street. Like I always, I think we have all the tendencies to forget that sometimes, we're like really
mm-hmm.
privileged, to be doing all the stuff. Like this seems so normal. Like you would think it'd be all around the world, the type of thing we're having right now. Like everyone's having this clean water, everyone's being able to like, have these nice streets, have all these essentials to survive. But then as soon as you go to some other country like Costa Rica or Mexico, you kind of just reality really hits you and realize like wow,
This is what
like
most of the world's living
even
in,
like
like living like this.
Yeah, and not only that, like, something like, a shower, you'd be like, damn, I'm really glad I have
Yeah,
a full running shower with
I
hot
know.
water, which I think, I mean, kind of helps you just be more grateful,
Yeah.
you know. And it's important to be humble, right? You can't lose your track,
Hmm.
you know. And it's kind of a shame because I see a lot of kids who have wealthy parents and they don't really seem to spend or really appreciate what they have, they're getting brand new
I know.
cars and going on these expensive trips and stuff like that. And it didn't like it just they don't really show like, or at least I haven't seen how much gratitude, towards it. Be like, I'm so thankful I'm here or
Yeah.
whatever. They haven't really experienced what it means to hit rock bottom. And I think that's actually, for any business owner, it's important to like actually, I'll kind of sum it up in a quote. Like I read this book called The 12 Rules of Life. I don't know if you read
Hmm.
it, but there was a quote in there, and it says like every any tree that trying to reaches for heaven must have roots that reaches hell. I don't
Yeah,
know if that makes sense.
that's a great quote. Is that Jordan
Yeah, by
Peterson's
Carl
book, right?
Jung. Yeah, I think it was a quote from Carl
Oh yeah,
Jung.
Carl Jung.
I really love that one because it kind of shows like, you
Yeah.
can't really experience what true happiness is until you've really hit rock bottom. Same thing with anything. Like you can't really understand what it means to be poor until you've really hit the bottom button, or at least you don't know what really means to be wealthy when you hit rock bottom for poor.
Yeah.
So it's just I think having hard times, I mean, it's kind of inevitable, but I mean, like, it honestly makes you stronger.
Yeah.
You know, makes you more ready for the world and understand that every single thing you get is an opportunity and a blessing at the
And
same time.
exactly, like, thankfully we live in a country where you can fail and you're not done. Like we have so much
Oh
opportunity.
yeah. Oh
Like in
yeah.
other countries, like you will never, no matter what you do, get out of your situation ever. Like there's no opportunity for you. That's a reason why people come to, you know, the States, to Canada, to England, to Germany, like all these sorts of these countries that provide opportunities for people to move up in life, right? Have a better quality of life.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, there's a ton of opportunity, and not only that, in Canada, you kind of covered like pretty good cover. Anything bad to happen, you got the hospital there for
Yeah.
you. You got some decent jobs. Anyone can really get the job, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unemployment insurance.
Definitely in other countries. Yeah, unemployment insurance. As for my book publishing, I read the book from this course I took, and there was this guy from India who literally like had like probably the worst part of his life. He had to go to school, had like barely any money, and he was like his parents were like, you gotta work 24/7, right? And he would like probably wake up at 6:30 every morning and go to school and then probably work at another job for a bit, and he would get home around 7 o'clock, and he would be like he started to write his own books because he
Hmm.
had no money in India. You got
Yeah.
nothing. You got paid very little, and it was incredible. Like he had like all these factors against him, like time, like just money and all this kind of stuff. And he created his first book, and it
Yeah.
failed. It usually does, but he kept on doing it and doing it, and he made like I think his very first book, or not his very first book, his successful book made like $5,000 in US dollars, which is a
Yeah.
lot in India, right? So he was pretty much a rich
Hmm.
kid, and from there he's living well. I was listening to a podcast and he was talking about how he just hit his first $100,000 per month, which
Yeah,
is
that's nuts.
insane. 100,000. I
1.2
don't. A
million a
majority of
year.
people.
Yeah.
A good majority of people won't even make that much
Yeah.
money. It's incredible, and he's our age too, and
That's
he's our
crazy.
age. you know and that's what I really want to achieve too. I also want to be able to like not only just you know be able to do whatever I want. I want to be doing it like while I'm young, you know, definitely while I'm young. Hopefully, but before my 20s, because I just want to experience life and just be able to do a lot more things that older people couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
doing, right? Um, and I kind of get jealous of all these kids who like, get these like definitely younger than me who got this huge opportunity of this fame and whatever, and they don't even use it. Like they don't even use it to like benefit anyone else. They just use it for
Yeah.
themselves. It's like I'd say, like I can't imagine myself getting paid that much. Like if I were, obviously I would treat myself, but then there would be a point where I'm like, okay, you know what? Like it's time
Give
for me
back.
to take action, give back, obviously, and then obviously grow my assets so I can even help more people over
Yeah.
time, right? But they're just wasting their time on stupid
Stupid stuff.
stupid stuff, just doing it for the wrong reasons. They just weren't taught the value, but that's what it is,
Yeah.
you know. So
That's honestly that's a goal of mine. Whether it can be through um, monetary means or just personal means, like being able to help. Like, I mean, the reason why I want to start a firm is not just because it's a good business to start, a marketing firm,
mhm.
but it really helps people. Like I really like the idea of helping local businesses out. You know, as one of the major areas people screw up on is marketing. Like I could probably make $2,000 just off one job for making a website in 10 minutes, maybe. You could probably do that. Like my dad, I'm not going to disclose the company that offered them this, but he provided a website that was pretty basic. Um, and he
Mhm.
was charging $2,500, sorry, for
What?
like just setting all these sorts of things up, different landing pages, and it was like simple template website, and then they're just like he paid for the work of adding all these sorts of things, and I'm like, I told him like I could do that better and make it look really nice, like, and I was like, he's like, sure, yeah, I'll pay you, um, and that's like, if you think about, if I can get paid $1,000 to do a website, that if I work on it every day, um, including like social media and all that, starting ads and stuff, and I can make $1,000 like for 10, maybe 5 hours of work, as if I could get it done with like a quality product or whatever. Like it's great, and it's not something I can't do during school.
Yeah, it's honestly like kind of on your time. Like you can do whenever you want. That's the best thing about online stuff is that whenever you don't have the time, you can stop and then work on something else compared to as like a job. You
Mm-hmm.
can't stop. You get paid by the hour or
Yeah,
whatever. Which you know, and that's what I mean. Like it's just so much easier
yeah,
now. So much easier to make money, especially online. Like for entrepreneurs, it's just if anyone's starting to start their own business or whatever, you can't really give any excuse as to why you can't
yeah,
start it. If there's a will, there's a way.
yeah. If someone with
You
nothing
know.
could achieve something, then you can do it too. If you know.
Yeah, yeah. If you really hit rock bottom, just buy a cell phone and you could start from there, and you could always make money from like cell phone ads or something like that. Something. But actually, you know what? There was, you know, I'm always curious as to new jobs. Like, oh, like that's pretty opportunity, right? And when I was working at my work, it was like I think a month ago or something like that. Some guy was brought this weird camera out of his car, and it was a really big camera. I was like so curious into what he was doing, and I asked him, and he was like, "Hey, so what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing virtual tours."
Ooh, that's
Right.
cool
And
actually.
yeah, and I was like, what is that? I've never heard of that. He's like, oh, so pretty much, like, some people pay me to go and just pretty much take 360 pictures of their property and they could post it on their website. So people don't have to go to the property and they could
And
just look
he's
online,
charging good
which
money.
obviously, oh yeah, he says like, I just, I get paid like $200 an hour. I'm like,
That's nuts.
what? And I'm like, what did you do? What did you do for education? And he's like, nothing. And I was like, I just watched YouTube videos. And I'm like, are you, this is like a
Yeah.
joke? He's like,
Hey
no,
man, you can
man.
do anything with the advent
You
of the
know,
internet, really.
honestly, and especially like since thank the COVID,
Mhm.
you know, like that thing was booming and everyone's been doing it, right? So I was gonna do that, but I decided not to. Not until I feel like I've made some good passive income. The only time when I'll be working on other, something like that. But that's like, if anyone's, listening to this and finding that, interesting, you should probably check it out. It's 3D tours. You can look it up on YouTube, but it's pretty simple. Just buy a camera, learn how to use the software, which is pretty easy. Take pictures, sell it,
Simple.
you're done.
And the
Pretty
one
much.
thing, yeah, one thing I
Simple.
think is good about going to school, especially for this, is it's really easy. Well, not really easy. It's a lot more opportunity to make connections, right? Ugh, I mean, one thing I kind of get sick of is hearing about networking all the time, right? You need to be networking all the time, but it's really true. Like they talk about it all the time about soft skills in school, right? In my university,
Mm-hmm.
and one thing I really I guess I think is one of the best parts about going to school, or sorry, going to school. It's like I'm going to fifth grade. Uh, going to university. It gives you
University, yeah.
opportunity. Like you interact with so many different people, and people are a lot more willing to like purchase something, a service from you when they know you, right? That's like you pay $100 to get to reach 1,000 people with an ad for 10 people to click on it, right? Because it's so hard to reach people without
Mm.
some sort of personal aspect, and people really like that.
Yeah, or social proof.
Like
Yeah.
that's why I was able when I was selling those stickers. That's the why like if I was trying to sell those some other way, like that's why I was able to sell them. I'll just go up to people and ask them, "You want to buy some stickers? Like we got a deal. It's like each they're $1 each, and three, if you buy three or more, the ones after that are 50 cents. Oh, and if you follow us on Instagram and like our last post, you get an extra one for free. You know." And
Mm-hmm.
we like it's just
Yeah.
simple stuff like that. Like that's just I made that. Do you want to know how much I invested in those stickers? thirty
How
six
much?
dollars.
And you
Well,
made
we didn't make
500?
500 just from that, but it was a solid 200, maybe $250.
I mean, you put
I
$36 and
know,
you got
pretty
200.
dang good profit there. You know.
Well, yeah, especially
I
stickers. I
know.
mean, come
And
on.
I
It's like
yeah, and
a
we had the
dollar.
best part is we had people who could sell them as well. We had 10 people in our group. I would split them up amongst people, right? Give 50
Mm-hmm.
to each person, and we have 10 people, and then each person would sell it. And if they couldn't sell, like I would try to sell it again, and then we just collected it. We ended up making good money. Like, well, it's not like amazing money, but like for selling stickers, it's not bad.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's someone who would die to
Yeah,
get
I
that
know,
money.
right? It's not like we're gonna sustain ourselves on selling stickers, but it was like, yeah,
It's a good
man.
start. It's a really good start. I mean, that's a good achievement. I mean, for me, that's I mean, that's not reaching my goal for, how much I have to earn, but I mean, that's not too far from it, only like $300, which I don't think is too hard. Because I mean, if you're selling, like, I'm pretty sure those stickers, is it
Like,
variety stickers
yeah,
or
pretty
just one
much a
type of?
variety. Like there were everything from like comic book characters, like Marvel to Supreme, Bape, like just knockoff stickers that were in there. Like that just include. I didn't even notice that they were in there. Like I just bought the pack of 500 stickers. You know, like I didn't sell
Mm-hmm.
all of them, but like I sold 400 at least.
Yeah. I mean, that's still impressive, you know? I was like, there was I heard a story about this kid in England who literally sold like he literally opened like a small little like
Oh
candy
yeah,
store in the boys'
dude, he
bathroom
was making
and he
bank,
made like
man, and they shut the school
oh
shut
my
him
god.
down.
Come on, okay, first of all, I honestly kind of imagine myself like I wish I learned about this earlier because I would
Oh yeah,
100% in high school would have done that, especially the cafeteria and their overpriced, food.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Like I don't know why I didn't think of something like that before. Like think
And
about it.
they're
I'm
ordering
sure
Uber
like
Eats too.
there's people who go to the bathroom. Yeah, exactly. Everyone like the whole like everyone's known to go to the bathroom
Yeah,
to do whatever, but they're just hanging in there. I can make money. I
yeah,
can
man.
make money
I
when I'm in
mean,
there.
technically, what I was doing
You
is
know?
illegal, but the teachers didn't really care.
It's okay. They
I
don't
mean, I
even
did it
know.
right in the middle of the classroom, but it didn't really matter. Like they didn't really care. Some of my
Oh,
teachers
come
bought
on.
stickers,
That's really
dude. Like,
stupid. You're there to learn, so why are they gonna
yeah,
stop you, you know?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I saw like a video of some like kids getting like haircut
that's
in the
hilarious,
bathroom during COVID.
brother. You're
Oh
gonna
my
get your
goodness.
fade
There's a
up.
huge line. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
bro, come to the bathroom, get a fade still.
Honestly. You know what's crazy? Like when COVID was, a big serious thing, like people who like even simple jobs like haircuts
Oh
were
yeah,
so
$100, man.
expensive. Like
No, I
you
didn't
paid
pay.
a
I didn't pay no
hundred, I
money. I just
paid
didn't cut my hair.
like
But I know people were charging
oh
$100 like to cut out their garage.
oh yeah. Like I was like my when I was working in Mississauga, there was my boss knew some kid who was does haircuts, and I had to pay this kid
Bro,
forty
that's
dollars
crazy.
just to get a trim. I just literally trimmed my hair. I didn't do anything to it. I just made it cut it short, and I paid $40 for like
Yeah, that's
10
why I
minutes
just shaved
session.
my head, dude. I just went full buzz. I grew
Oh
it out super
wait, that
long and
made
then I
me.
just buzzed it. I was like,
Yeah, honestly, I gotta get a haircut soon. I don't like long hair. It
yeah,
gets in the way, there's like that
middle
good
ground.
the good the middle ground where it's just like not too long, not too short, just perfect, you know. But yeah, it was just pretty interesting. Um, we went back and forth with business and marketing, which is always good, interesting topics to talk about.
Yeah, and I
Um,
guess that kind of wraps up the episode. Yeah, so thank you
yeah,
for coming on, Ethan. It was good talking to you. Someone else
thank,
is business minded and, you know, just fun to talk to, right?
yeah, thank you so much. Honestly, like I haven't really been talking to people about business or anything, and it's nice to talk about this. I don't really get to talk about it, especially
Yeah.
with my friends. But good thing I know there's people I can
Yeah,
talk
man.
to.
Anytime. Don't worry. You're coming back on here too. Dude,
Oh
we gotta plug your
yes.
book for the few people who are listening. You gotta, once his book comes out,
Oh
just buy
yeah.
it, man. You learn
Oh
something.
yeah. Okay. You know what? Learn something exactly. You know what? I'm hoping that this podcast will go further, and hoping that like we'll have like different sections. You have like the arts, you got your
Hmm.
business. You get all these people, and then you gotta have like all these connections. You got
There you go.
networking.
This is
No more
networking, soft
problem.
skills, baby.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
That's what you should probably use this podcast for. Just use it for
Exactly.
networking. Get some people. You need an artist.
Boom,
Boom.
let's
You
go on
already got
campus,
one.
bro. Just chat with random people.
Yeah, you need a book written investor, buddy.
Yeah.
I got
All
you.
right, guys. Thank you for listening. And if you want to check out Ethan, you can check him out on Instagram, right?
Yeah, it's Ethan underscore Sanchez underscore.
Yeah, and he's gonna have his book on what was it? Um, Storage containers,
Well, it's actually
shipping
shipping
containers, and how
containers.
to reuse them.
Yeah.
Very interesting, right?
Or yeah, yeah. Or just whatever you can use them
Exact.
for,
Coming
storage,
out
that kind of
soon on
thing.
Audible. Yeah.
Yes, and
Oh
paperback,
yeah.
all
All
those,
all, all your
all
audiobook
formats,
streaming services.
all
Yep.
formats
All
coming to you soon.
right. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
See ya.